He strapped someone else's urine bag to his thigh. Then he injected the person's blood into fake fingerprint membranes and carefully attached them to his index finger. Afterward, he had to frantically scrub his body with a wire brush until no skin cells remained before daring to go to work, because blood tests were required to verify identity before entering the workplace. Moreover, every day before leaving work, he meticulously cleaned his keyboard to prevent leaving any of his tissue behind, then scattered the blood donor's hair and dead skin cells around his workstation. He also had to provide urine samples on site at the end of each workday. The reason he needed to use someone else's identity was because in this future, humanity was divided into defective humans and perfect humans. Defective humans were the result of natural human conception, while perfect humans were superior humans created through genetic selection. They possessed stronger bodies, smarter minds, and more attractive features. These people could pursue high-end careers, while defective humans were restricted to low-end jobs. Paul was identified as a defective human at birth, with a 99% probability of developing heart disease and nearsightedness, and a predicted lifespan of only 20 years. As Paul grew older, everything happened just as the doctors had predicted. His physical condition was far inferior to that of perfect humans. Yet Paul didn't surrender to his circumstances. He aspired to become an astronaut, but no matter how hard he studied theoretical knowledge or trained his body, a simple urine test would immediately disqualify him. Just as he was about to accept his fate, a man approached him. Jerome was a perfect human who had become paralyzed in a car accident. He not only possessed a lifespan of nearly 150 years, but also had incomparable physical qualities and intellect. Jerome didn't want his superior genes to go to waste, so the two reached an agreement. One would provide genetic samples, while the other would assume his identity. To make them appear more alike, doctors fitted Paul with contact lenses matching Jerome's pupil color. There was also a critical problem. The two differed in height by 20 centimeters. For this reason, Paul had to undergo height extension surgery, truly becoming the same person inside and out. On this day, he was finally going to interview at the space agency. Beforehand, Jerome had prepared many genetic samples. Paul then arrived at the space agency full of anticipation. The first requirement was genetic testing, which he passed without issue. What surprised him more was that perfect humans didn't even need other interviews. Simply passing the genetic test was enough to join the space agency. And so, Paul worked cautiously at the space agency for 3 years. However, just as he was preparing to go to space, a company executive mysteriously died in the office. As Paul was leaving the scene, he accidentally left behind one of his own eyelashes. This would bring him catastrophic consequences.